What's up, fans? Back again, getting ready to do this UFC Fight Night 27 preview or review and UFC 164 preview for this weekend's fight and this past Wednesday's fight. So let's jump on into it. First fight of the night: Abel Trujillo versus Roger Bowling. Ended pretty controversially. In my honest opinion, I honestly feel like the knees were legal. Watching it again over and over and over, I think that upon initial contact, Abel does a pretty good job of getting the thigh to Roger's forehead, and thus the point of the knee to the chest or shoulder. Now the problem is the follow through, whether he gets a blow to Roger's head with his knee. I think he does. He does connect, but that's a little bit of a gray area, much like for instance, Cain Velasquez versus Bigfoot Silva 2. I mean, Cain just drops Bigfoot with a two-piece, a biscuit, and all the fries he could give him, and I mean he swarms on him, and in the middle of the swarm, he connects with what maybe one questionable blow, which is the same case we're looking at here with Abel Trujillo. Now, it wasn't the knee in this case that knocked Roger out. It was the punch, I think, that following those two knees that really put him away. Like I said, there's a lot of gray area here. It's left up for interpretation. So, if you disagree with me, comment below. Let me know how you feel. It's always good to stir up discussion. Anyways, moving on the card. I kind of want to skip through. I'm gonna move on to the Brandon Thatch KO over Justin Edwards, and yeah, just a vicious KO. Kicks. Been hearing a lot from GSP about him, and I think he brought him in to train with. So good to see him really make promise in his UFC debut. Moving on to Dylan Andrews versus Abedi. Bizarre ending. I had Dylan Andrews going into the fight, but during the fight, I mean, it looked like Poppy was leaning, on his way to winning that fight. But Bizarre just gets caught and it's just like dead. I mean, what was wrong with him? Anyways, Dylan Andrews gets a knockout. Tremendous heart, shoulder injury, all of that. Good win. He'll move up on the 185. Don't know who he'll fight next, but yeah, Dylan Andrews is pretty strong. He's a strong 185er. I like him. Anyways, moving later into the card, another tough 17 alumni, Kelvin Gastelum. People want to call him Mini Cain. I don't care what you call him. Honestly, I love the Cain Velasquez comparisons in more ways than one. Not just because he's Mexican, not just because he's from Arizona, not just because he primarily is a wrestler with a wrestling background, and not just because he's a pressure fighter. Most importantly to me is if you look at Kelvin Gastelum's record, mostly finishes, a lot like Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez finishes. I believe only 3 of his fights haven't gone the distance. One of them is a loss, and the other 2 are decision. One decision win over Congo, and the second one over JDS. So, I mean, it's a lot of comparisons. I really feel like Kelvin Gastelum is making like exponential improvements every time we see him. And he's only 21, 22 years old, so I mean the kid is just to think what he could be like in a couple of years is very scary. Even I would even say between now and the end of next year, he'll be very, very scary if he continues to, peak like he's shown us. Anyways, moving on to my next point. Not Junior. Wow, Rafael Dos Anjos gets the win over Cowboy Cerrone. I had Cerrone going into this fight, and Cerrone could not get a rhythm, could get any timing down on Dos Anjos at all. So hats off to Dos Anjos. He's a legit top 10 at 155. He's moving up steadily. Depending on what type of matchups he gets next, I think he can keep winning. I think he can. Depends on what type of matchups he gets. I won't go into any of his potential opponents yet. So last on the card was Carlos Condit versus Mark McCampman. This fight was good while it lasted. Martin Kampman started burning out, I believe, like towards mid-third, and they didn't have anything left by the end of the third. It was finished in the fourth. It seemed like everything was landed for Condit in the third, and he swarmed when he felt like it. I think it's time to start talking about Carlos Condit maybe in the top 5 welterweights, definitely in the top 10. He's in my top 5 as far as welterweights. I think we all know who the top 2 are. I think Carlos Condit, he has wins over everybody. Rory McDonald. I think he could have beaten Johnny Hendricks had that fight been a 5-round fight. He looked good against GSP. He just avenged the loss against Martin Kampman. He's knocked out Dan Hardy. He has a 93% finishing rate. The guy, Carlos Condit, is unbelievable. Not much more you can say about him, but I did hear that Ben Askren called him out after the fight, which is an interesting fight. I won't spill my comments on what I have as far as analytics going into that fight, but I'll save that for later if it materializes. But I think I'm running short on time, so what I'm going to do is cut this short and do the TUF 18 preview along with the UFC 164 preview in one vid in another upload. So until next time, peace people.